My name is Matt. I am 56 years old, and as of today, I am single. I have been single for the last 20 years. I got divorced 20 years ago, and my divorce is what shaped my life, till the day I got my revenge on my ex-wife and her partner. Let me give you a background on what happened. I met Lisa at a party hosted by a common friend. She was standing alone in a corner, and I approached her. It took some time before she opened up for a conversation. We had a great time that night. She was amazing. By the end of the night, we exchanged numbers and decided to meet again. We met a week later, and soon we started dating. After a month of dating, we had our first intimate session. I started working at a local IT firm as a software developer, and Lisa was working at a local advertisement firm. We used to go out for movies every week. Lisa loved hiking, and I had to get in shape for that. I loved every moment I spent with her. After dating for about 3 years, we got married. My family was happy, but my father-in-law Donald was not very happy. He was a rich man, well-connected, and wanted his daughter to marry a rich man like him. I never got along with him. He used to compare me with other men he knew, who could have been a much better option for his daughter. I did not hold back at times. I used to berate him by telling him that if I had that much money, I would be humble and more intelligent. My mother-in-law Linda never spoke a lot, but I knew that she shared her husband's opinion. I used to try and keep my distance from Lisa's parents. Lisa knew the issues between me and her parents, but never left my side. I kept my head high and decided to put a lot of effort into my profession. I worked extra hours and started to get more money. A year later, we had a beautiful daughter, Cindy. I was on cloud 9. My in-laws also came in and showered my daughter with loads of gifts and also gave Lisa more money. I later got to know that Lisa was getting money from her parents every month. I had a word with Lisa, and she was very adamant and stated that I should keep my nose out of her business. I kept away from it as she was the only daughter and was the heir to her parents' assets. These assets soon vanished in a stock market crash. Linda's father lost a ton of money. His business went down, and it got so bad that they had to sell their house and other assets and move into a smaller apartment, all that within a span of just 1 year. Meanwhile, I was still getting better. I did meet Donald a few times, and during these meetings, he was a bit humble. I felt that he was broken. My mother-in-law Linda also was now talking to me. I kept my distance and did not berate them or try to rub the situation at them. During this time, Lisa was getting distant. She would lash out at me for no apparent reason. Intimacy in bed was non-existent. A few days before my daughter's 3rd birthday, Donald and Linda both passed away tragically in a car crash. Lisa was heartbroken, and we had to cancel the birthday. My wife was now even more distant from me. She was spending a lot of time away from home, and I had to shuffle between working and taking care of my daughter. A small pointer that I missed was that all this while, I was making videos of my daughter growing up. I used to document her small moments every day. There were days when she was alone with me, when her mother was out for parties. I did have talks with Lisa multiple times about her absence and her recent attitude. I offered to get to therapy and get things sorted, but nothing worked. She kept coming back drunk, and I started to get hints that she was cheating on me as well. There were days that she came home drunk, and I used to guide her to the bedroom. On one such occasion, I saw that she was not wearing her panties. I had seen her in the morning wearing one when she came out of the shower. I was furious and left her lying on the floor that night. The next day I spoke to a friend, and he suggested I get a private investigator to look into the matter. I did the same and hired someone. It took 2 months, and I finally met the guy, and he placed a ton of images, videos, and call recordings. She was cheating on me with a guy named Gordon. He was a rich man, son of a friend of Donald, Lisa's childhood friend. This news crushed me. I went home and wanted to confront Lisa with the evidence. That night, I was playing with my daughter, and we were video documenting our session. Finally, Lisa came home with a lawyer. I was surprised. She beat me, She gave me the divorce papers and stated that she would be taking full custody of our daughter and would also be taking much of my assets. I decided to contest the divorce. I was not willing to go down without a fight. It was a fight where I lost more than I won. I retained my house, lost my daughter in court. I was able to prove that Lisa was cheating on me, but it did not matter. Lisa took my daughter and left town. I later found out that she moved in with Gordon. This happened 20 years ago. Today, I am a different man. I never got into a relationship again. I focused my life on just earning money. I worked hard, invested smart, and made a ton of money. I never looked back and never tried to contact Lisa or my daughter. A few months ago, I decided to find my daughter. After searching for 2 weeks, I found out about my daughter and decided to meet her. I got her social media details and sent her a message that I am her father and wanted to meet her. She was a bit skeptical to meet, but decided to meet me. 2 days later, I met her and her fiancé Gary. Her first reaction was of anger. She went on a tirade of insults at me and called me all sorts of names for cheating on her mother and leaving them both to fend for themselves. I was expecting this. I heard her rants and waited for her to calm down. Cindy was not interested in wasting her time with me, but Gary asked her to sit down. Gary seemed like a level-headed guy and asked if I wanted to say something. I did not speak a lot, but took out a file. It was the divorce file that was part of the court's ruling. I handed it to Gary and asked him to read. To my surprise, he was a lawyer. He read through it and then apologized to me. Cindy was a bit taken aback and asked Gary why he was apologizing to me. Gary explained the entire case, and Cindy was silent. I then took out my laptop and played some videos that were shot 20 years ago. Looking at the videos, Cindy started crying. She got up, hugged me, and told me that Lisa had been lying to her the whole time. Then, for the first time in the last 20 years, I spoke to my daughter. "I missed you, princess," I said. She started to cry. I took them to my hotel room and wanted to ask them about their lives. Cindy told me that Lisa and Gordon are still not married and just live in the same house. Gordon is a slimeball and has never treated Cindy properly. There have been times when he has even hit her. Lisa did protest, but she could never go against him. She was just interested in the money and did not want to lose the lifestyle Gordon provided. Cindy stated that she moved out of the house when she was 18 years old and has been living away from Lisa. She told me how she met Gary and how they started dating, and she told me that they wanted to get married soon. She told me that Gary is from a small town and is not from a very rich background. I saw a younger version of me that day. I told them that I would help them get married. Gary tried to stop me and stated that they would manage. I smiled and stated that I do not have anyone in my life except my daughter, and now you by extension, so I would be happy if you can allow me to arrange everything for you. They agreed and left. Later that night, Cindy called me and asked to meet. I was a bit surprised and agreed. She came to me with Gary and we had a long discussion. The marriage was set for 7 weeks from now, and preparations went underway. Lisa got the news of the marriage as Cindy informed her. She was happy and very excited when she heard about the venue of the marriage. She was invited, and so was Gordon. So far, no one knew that I was in town. Cindy met me a day later and informed me that Lisa was very excited and was bragging to her friends that she had made the arrangements to the venue and that Gordon would be walking her down the aisle. I smiled. Finally, the day arrived. I reached the venue and sat in a corner. Soon I could see people coming in, and finally, Lisa came in with Gordon. They looked like they were the perfect couple, and it seemed by their expression that they were surprised by the arrangement. Why are you surprised if you paid for it? I thought to myself. Soon the bride came in with her bridesmaids. Gordon proudly walked up to Cindy and offered his arm. He felt a tap on his shoulder and looked back in surprise. The security asked him to move away. He stated that he is the father and would be walking her down. Cindy looked at him and told him to go back and sit down. Gordon was furious and was about to hit her. Suddenly, he felt his wrist held by someone and looked back. I told him that it would be a very bad move and that it is better he walks away. He was a bit shocked to see me and stepped aside. I gave Cindy my arm and walked her to Gary. Lisa was shocked to see me. Gary and Cindy got married, and it was time for the family pictures. Gordon and Lisa walked up for the pictures. It was at this moment that security stopped them again and did not allow them to be part of the family picture. Lisa and Gordon were furious and started to scream and create a scene. I waved my hand, and they were escorted out. The next day, there was an article on the second page of the local newspaper about the marriage. The article did not stop on just how the marriage was grand. It also talked about the bride's family, how her mother cheated on her father, and is currently living with another man who is abusive to the bride since her childhood. The article was written by none other than Cindy. A day later, I left town as Cindy and Gary left for their honeymoon. A few days later, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Lisa. She was crying and stated that Gordon is beating her after he read the article. That article has made him lose all his clients and suppliers. He's almost in ruins and is blaming me for all of this. She kept saying sorry and wanted me to come save her. I heard her crying and howling. Then, after 7 minutes and 35 seconds, I got bored and hung up. It was the last of her. I'm still single and don't intend to mingle with anything. Until next time.